Welcome ladies and gentlemen, I'm Szabolcs Böszörményi, I'm the chef in the Rosemary Restaurant, and today I'm gonna make you a simple mushroom stew the way how we cook it in the restaurant. Mushroom stew is a traditional Hungarian dish. It's very simple. The ingredients are mushrooms, some pepper, some tomatoes, onions, red paprika or pepper is a dry spice. It's Hungarian specialty, a little bit of pepper and some salt. In the restaurant, when we make the mushroom stew, we use lecsó or Hungarian ratatouille, but because many of you might not know what that is, I'm gonna just replace that with some peppers and tomatoes. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just cook them in some water, and later on we're gonna add to the mushroom stew, so it's gonna have a nice creamy sauce in it. So for this, I'm just gonna cut the pepper in big chunks because they're gonna cook, and we also gonna use a blender to make it nice and consistent. It doesn't have to be fine, but we don't want to put them whole either. With the tomato, I'm gonna cut out the end part of it, which is the green, and just big chunk. We're gonna simmer it on a low heat for about 20-25 minutes, and while it's simmering, we're gonna prepare the mushroom stew. So first, I'm gonna add some sunflower oil. While the oil is heating, I'm gonna chop the onions. We're gonna chop them quite fine. While we fry the onions, we can slice the mushrooms. There are different ways to do it. Someone just cut them into 4 big chunks. We like to slice them into a bit thicker slices. I mean, it's up to you. But if you have bigger chunks, it might take a longer time to cook it. So what I do is put the mushroom like that, and then just start to slice like this. And at the end, you need to be a bit careful not to cut yourself. When the mushroom starts to get smaller and smaller, it can slip out from your finger. So I recommend not to do it too fast. You want to use a medium high heat for the frying the onion, and there are also some people who prefer to just fry them a little bit and then add some water and rather cook them. That way in the finished stew they're gonna kind of disappear and make the sauce thicker. On the other hand, if you fry them a bit longer and you're gonna make them a bit golden brown, they're not gonna disappear in the sauce, but because we're gonna add the tomato and the paprika later, our sauce is gonna be nice and creamy and thick, and I prefer the fried onions inside, and they are gonna be add a little extra flavor for it as well. Now the onion is ready. We can add the mushrooms. And the mushroom contains a lot of water, so it's going to become much smaller. And you can even add them in different groups. So first you add some of it, and then they shrunk a little bit, you add the rest. The reason I'm using this pan because the bottom is nice and thick, and because we use an induction heater that's really good for the heat and onions not to burn. Because if you use a very thin bottom pan, then it's easy to burn onions with the induction heater. What we want now is to mix gently the mushrooms with the onions. But we don't want to break them, but also we want the mushrooms to be on the bottom, so they release their water and It's not gonna burn, but rather we're gonna fry a little bit and steam the mushrooms. So from now on it's gonna be about 15-20 minutes for the mushrooms to fry and evaporate all the water, and after that we're gonna add the paprika and the tomatoes and the spices. So now we're gonna make the dumplings, and for that I already put on the water, and then when the water is gonna boil I'm gonna add the salt, but only after boiling, because if you add the salt before it takes longer for the water to boil. So I have half a kilo flour here. I'm gonna add 5 eggs to it. When you make the Hungarian dumplings, the secret to it is not to mix the pasta too well. Just mix it a little bit. I'm gonna add 1 spoon of salt. I'm also gonna add the salt for the water now. The water is boiling now. It's time to make the pasta. So I'm gonna add 1 spoon of sour cream, because the sour cream is gonna make the pasta much more creamy. It's not gonna be as hard. And I'm gonna add a little bit of milk, and I'm gonna mix it with my hand. I use a glove because it can stick to your hand and it's much easier to clean it afterwards. Also, some people find it more hygienic. For the consistency, you want something like this, so it's not too liquidy and not too hard. So I'm gonna use this device to put the dumplings in the boiling water, and if you don't have that, you can try any grater with bigger holes, or you can even use a knife to do it, and then you can chop the dumplings. And what you want is already boiling water, so they're not gonna stick to the bottom, because if you start to do the dumplings, then they can quickly cool down the water. So it's good to have the water boil, and from time to time I'm just gonna stir it a little bit. So when it's ready, the water is boiling again. Now you have to be careful because it can bubble up very quickly and it can run out from there. So I'm just gonna stop it. Tomato and the paprika is ready, and before I'm gonna blend it, I'm gonna put it into this metal jug, because that way I can easily blend it without it making a big mess. So if you have home a larger cup, then you can use that. It's gonna make it so much easier. Mushrooms are now ready. We're gonna add the paprika, which is about 1 spoon, and we're gonna mix it, because the mushroom is now, it's only the mushroom and the fat, so the paprika gonna give its taste and flavor. And now we're gonna add the tomato and pepper for it. That's gonna make the sauce nice and creamy. And now we're gonna cook it for a couple of minutes until it's gonna have all the flavors together. So I'm gonna add a little sunflower oil. So that way we can reheat the dumplings. And depends on your taste, you can brown them a little bit, so they're gonna be a little bit crispy on the side, or you can just warm them up. First we made the dumplings. Now I'm gonna add the mushroom stew. Hungarian mixed cabbage goes very well with it. And we're gonna add some parsley leaf, gives them a nice flavor and smell on the plate. Enjoy! Jó étvágyat!